Friends, brothers and sisters, welcome to Pathways of Hope, a daily reflection on the gospel and the hope that it brings to us in these times. My name is Ted, and I'll be sharing some insights on the gospel for today. Today is Saturday, November 21, 2020, and the gospel for today is from Luke chapter 20, verses 27 to 40. In today's gospel, Jesus is confronted by the Sadducees with a question about something they did not believe in, the resurrection. The Sadducees' belief revolved only around the first 5 books of the Old Testament, and those books did not expressly mention the resurrection. So they asked Jesus what they thought was a clever question designed to undermine Jesus' authority. And their question was, whose wife the woman who marries 7 brothers during her lifetime will be during the resurrection? And this question was based on Deuteronomy 25, verses 5 to 6. A man whose brother dies without children is required to marry his brother's widow. The firstborn child of that union is to bear the name of the deceased brother so that the brother's lineage could continue. It was a rule that was designed to preserve not only the lineage of the family, but as well to provide for the widow's financial security. And Jesus' answer to the Sadducees showed how his understanding of God's will was so vastly different from anyone else's. Answering the Sadducees, Jesus points out that even the law of Moses recognized the resurrection, because in Moses' encounter with God, who appeared in the form of the burning bush, God referred to himself as the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And then, Jesus refers to God, not as God of the dead, but as God of the living, for all live to him. Jesus then points out to the Sadducees that the life that is to come is not going to be the same as the life in the present. Many of the earthly things you have grown accustomed to or need to have present will no longer be necessary. There will be no more marriage nor separation, no more need for financial security, no more sickness, no more pain or hurt or suffering, no more sin, no more death. Only peace, joy, and love in the presence of the Lord. We tend to think that the life to come will be like the life we have now, with the same rules, relationships, and restrictions. But our resurrected lives will be very different. We cannot or often do not want to understand things we have not seen or cannot see. But St. Paul reminds us, what no eye has seen, nor ear heard, nor the heart of man conceived, what God has prepared for those who love him. What our eyes cannot see, what our ears cannot hear, what our minds cannot comprehend, we have to accept by faith. Jesus does not tell us what lies ahead for us in heaven. What he does say is that heaven is not simply a continuation of earth, so we don't need earthly things such as marriage or prosperity. He reminds us, though, that while on earth, we must continue to live as children of God so that we may be accounted worthy to attain to that age and to the resurrection. In verse 38, Jesus says, "For all live to him." The direction of our lives is to him, God. God is the direction of our lives, because only in that way will we reach the new life that Jesus is pointing us to. But the way to God is through Jesus, who is the way, the truth, and the life. And no one comes to the Father but through Jesus. There is a saying among the young, "You only live once." Yolo. I've always found that strange. You see, we don't only live once. We live every day that God gives us. Indeed, his mercies are new every day. And so instead of YOLO, perhaps we should say, Yodo. You only die once, because when we die, we then live forever. But Jesus reminds us also that in order to live forever with God, we must not only have a good death, we must have a good life. We must live every day well, and the best way to live that way is to live as if it were your last day, welcoming the mercies of God that are new every day and thanking the Lord for them. I pray today for the grace to live each day as if it were my last, with grace and mercy that is new every day, and in deep gratitude to the Lord, who is the fount of that grace and mercy. I pray that you may be blessed with that very same grace. If you have been made more hopeful by this short commentary, please spread that hope by sharing this with your friends. Again, this has been Pathways of Hope. Thank you for listening. God bless us all.